Thank you so much, the moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you for finding time to be with us on this program this afternoon. Just as Dr. Adeyemi has explained to us, we need to see how we can turn ordinary agric into business. And the purpose of the process of doing that, we need to understand that agric has moved from merely tilling the soil, planting, and eating. Now, a lot of people looking for a job could actually see what is happening here in agric business. But before you put your head into it, you need to understand the detail of what happens. We have key challenges facing agribusiness. And so until we have been able to identify and treat all of this, we won't be able to move to the next level. This afternoon, briefly, I'll be discussing about agricultural development challenges. I'll be talking of challenges within and around the agricultural value chain. I'll equally be talking about the competence, education, innovation, and technology challenges. Of course, the agricultural organic challenges, finance, marketing, and risk management is not left behind, while I'll be rounding up with the exogenous factors, that is government policies, global impact, environmental incidences, etc. that surround agribusiness. And let's start from the first one, which is the agricultural development and process. You see, we need to understand that agribusiness is not just buying a land, leasing a land, renting one, or just inheriting one and start to plant whatever you think is the desired, crops on this land. No, we need to understand that we are taking this thing further from the limited scope of this and creating a business out of it. And so we have the systemization of the field. That is, you have to draw the dimension, you have to build a lot of structures, etc. You need soil preparation, which may include the chemical or mechanical involvement, the contour line, input application, etc., that are not they were not in use before business went into agriculture. And of course, planting. Planting has gone beyond, bury the seed and expect it to grow in 5 days. No, you need to understand the seasonal, the irrigation, and every other thing that is related to planting. For instance, those who planted rice in some part of the country, and rain has decided not to fall in the last 8 weeks, they are counting their losses. You need equally to understand the challenges of harvest. A lot of products are wasted in the process of being harvested. You need to understand transportation. You see, no matter the level of your harvest, if you cannot transport it to where they are needed, you are just winking in the dark. And of course, we need factory, that is our dedicated vehicle who could take some of our products to the juice extractors, the alcohol production, etc., etc. We need to understand the land use and resource management. You need crop production and harvesting. You need processing, consumption too. All of these are challenges that are not avoidable in modern day agribusiness. Of course, you cannot forget that the full management of your farm must be in the hands of able, ready, and willing hands. You need to understand the ecosystem services, the pest control, the pollination, the nutrient, the soil conservation, the water provision, including its quality and quantity, the carbon sequestration. You need to understand the biodiversity. These are things that old farmers, our parents, God bless them, they tried their best. They were only making a living out of farming. They are not, they existed, they didn't live. There are so much businesses, value chains in the course of agribusiness. Our challenge too is about the value chain that I just mentioned now. You need to understand that in agric, you don't do all. In those days, you have to be the one to plant, you have to do wheat, the one to harvest, the one to take to market. Those ones you sold on credit, you'll be the one to begin to run after your debt. No, 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 no. There are several value chains now that you need just to play a role and move on. Agric input, if that is what you want, supply the inputs, move on with your life. If you understand agri practices, you can even make a consultancy out of it and begin to have your money. There are professional harvesters now who will harvest your product and make sure that the waste is minimized. That could be procurement, those who will buy from your farm. There are even produce marketer, you know, people who assist you to take all and pay you. There are people who process and they even retail. You have the issue of fertilizer, you have the issue of middlemen, processing, retailing, etc. These are areas where people can key in. You don't necessarily know how yam, some people say yam is plugged on the tree. You don't need to know where yam is plugged. If your purpose is to buy yam, all you need to understand is where are big farmers who can be supplying you yam. And of course, you have agricultural innovation and skill. In every business that you do today, skill is the first thing that you must acquire. If you do not understand what you are doing, you will be swindled by those who understand this more than you. And that is why agricultural education system is very, very key. You see, to the glory of God, the organizer, the CPTEC University, they have invited some of us from sister agencies. I came from Davis Graduate of School of Finance, so that we can analyze all of this. We can educate people. They can understand this is the requirement. You need to have a technical know-how before you put your hand into it. Yes, finance, people say, is the problem of all businesses, but not so when you do not have knowledge. Again, you have the bridging institutions. You have to understand the political channels. You have to know the stakeholders, those who play in your field. Otherwise, they will just be blowing against you. If you don't understand the rule of the game, you end up getting the red card before the match ends. And of course, you have the consumers. Where are your products that you want to sell or you produce? Where are they needed? Who are those who want to process it? Who are those who want to consume it? And what other input do you actually require to ensure that this product gets to the consumer at the right quality, at the right quantity, and at the right time? Remember a couple of years ago when some Nigerians decided to export yam to the United Kingdom. Before they got there, the yam were already boiled. And so they used money to ship yam to that place, and they eventually took it back. At a point in time, our beans was rejected in the United Kingdom. Thank God for the improvement in the agriculture under this government. They have now started accepting our beans again. I expected all of us who are interested in this value chain to ask for what went wrong. Why did they stop us? Okay, what did we do to make them to accept us now? And what can we do so that in the shortest time, they will not still stop us from bringing it? Then we have the agricultural organic challenges. When you talk about organic challenges, you are talking about so many things. We have the pre-upstream, which is the research innovation about input, about mechanization. You have the upstream, which is about primary production and harvest. You do the processing of it, the primary transport of it from the raw stage, the primary storage. How do you keep it? That's in 2-3 days. I went to my 12 and I discovered that you cannot see a mango of 2 weeks. They are all rotting. What are those things that needed to be done to ensure that indeed we can get value from this? And you have value-added processing. You see, those who drink coffee, they don't plant it. Those who drink our cocoa, they don't plant it. But immediately they have their value added like this. They repackage it and sell it to us at a very high price. And we begin to say, I even want the caffeinated one. I want the other. I want it. No. It's Cameroon, it's Kenya coffee that I want. Something that will grow on our ground. What is the addition? What are the value that can add to it to make us benefit from it? The prices of chocolate is going up all over the world, yet the prices of cocoa is going down. We need to reconcile this. And the downstream is, of course, the retail or the customer market where we take our products to. Even the industrial market, those our big men who come to buy from us, etc., etc. Then we are now talking about a financing model. There are people, what they do is they finance you by your input. They give you good product to plant. There are people who finance you by tractor. There are people who finance you by putting little money in your pocket. Some buy fertilizer for you. There are several facilities that you can get without necessarily committing naira and kobo to it. Those are the several things that you can understand in this business. And finally, we are talking about the exogenous challenges, that is, those things that are outside our control. If you look at the global stage where we want to play, what is the quality of our product placed side by side another from our country? I was in the UK and I realized that the yam we were buying was from Ghana. And truly, Nigeria is the highest producer of yam in the whole world. And if one will be in UK and be buying yam, one should have expected that since 70% of yam is grown on Nigerian soil, it must be Nigerian yam that will be eaten. Then we need to understand the climate and seasonal changes. We need to understand international commodity pricing. We don't know. We are price takers. It's whatever they offer us, in spite of our effort, that we take. The second one is our government. Government with policy, somersault, policy, whatever, etc., etc. Sometimes you hear that they have granted facility to agree. Why have you not benefited? How have you positioned yourself? Truly, they are giving this money, but why is it not your turn? You need to look at all of these too. And of course, you need to understand the agricultural industry and market too. You need to understand the land use system, including transportation. Understand very well that the issue of owner and settler are still predominant in some parts of the country, making our farmers to lose substantial efforts that they are put in planting. We need to understand this. Food and beverage industry incentives, we are not benefiting, yet we are the primary producers of some of the things that they use. We don't have marketing. We don't market our food. We do not market them. And the reason why we are not marketing them is somehow beyond us, because we do not understand what is called packaging. And of course, the safety of some of our food. Some of them, if you take them after 3, 4, 5 days, they become sour and you cannot just take them again. Within our community, what do we do? Within our workplace, our school feeding environment, how many of us are participating? And is that the number of people that the system can accommodate? Why can't we find our way? Do we have any neighborhood or socio-economic gathering where we share our challenges, where we share our experiences and make sure we move on? Again, we look at the socio-cultural environment where we operate to. Some of the items that we produce, who do we sell them to? For instance, if you're a piggery farmer, for instance, and you begin to market your product among the Muslims, you are actually not going to sell. Then our individual challenge that we have, we cannot forget our age, everything that has to do with what we can actually produce and what we can take to the market. By the time we continue in this 15-week series of our webinar, I'm sure, and I'm too sure, that we will be able to get to where we are going, and we'll be able to get to where we are going. And obviously, everybody will understand the fact that yes, indeed, agribusiness is the way to go, because as long as the word is in existence, people will eat. As long as the word in existence, people will produce the food that we eat. Since they produce on the farm, some people will take it to the market. Some people will supply the input, others will supply the logistics required to take this food to where we need them. I hope you will tell your friends, tell your colleagues and associates that we have started something, how to revive agribusiness, and I believe they will be partakers. Please, you can only help us by sending in your questions so that we can answer all of them and improve on the presentation as we move on. This is just a modest contribution from CPTEC University for the purpose of making available food security for our people. Thank you and God bless.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Shola Opadere, for that insightful